So that's stressing me out. If we don't learn what the apples do, I'm gonna revolt. I didn't know about this. Hi everyone, it's me. Welcome to my first ever reading vlog. So I've never done one of these before, but I definitely have been incorporating more books and reading into my videos lately. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and try my first ever reading focused vlog this week. So I hope you guys like it because I feel like this is the direction that I want my channel to go in, just because reading is something I am so excited about and it's something that I love doing. So it'll be something that hopefully I enjoy making videos about. So if you do end up liking this video and want to see more of them, please definitely leave me a like, a comment, everything. Share this video with your friends. It really helps me, especially right now while I am trying to go a new direction with my channel. You know what I mean? This week is such an exciting week because A Curse for True Love is releasing on Tuesday. That's tomorrow. If you don't know what A Curse for True Love is, it is the third book in an amazing trilogy. It is a YA fairy tale fantasy romance. It is so good. So the first book in the series is called Once Upon a Broken Heart. The second book is called The Ballad of Never After, and we follow a girl named Evangeline, who is like a fairy tale princess type character. All she wants in life is her happily ever after. She wants to find her like fairy tale happily ever after in love ending. And she's got pink hair. She lives in this absolutely magical world, and she stumbles across the... Oh, my cat just stepped on the table, that's why you shook. So Evangeline stumbles across the Prince of Hearts along her journeys, who is a fate, and fates are known to be very tricky characters. They are magical, they can be dangerous, they are known to make bargains that really only they benefit from. But Evangeline finds herself in a very desperate position. Like, she will do anything to save her current relationship, so she ends up making a bargain with the Prince of Hearts. His name is Jax, by the way, and we love him. And then that just sets her off on this whole journey. So that happens in Once Upon a Broken Heart, and we go on to this beautiful trilogy. So yeah, A Curse for True Love is coming out tomorrow. Yesterday I just finished In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. It was just a silly little contemporary romance. I actually didn't particularly enjoy it. I went into it knowing it was going to be a silly little romance, but for me it just didn't even do that for me, but that's okay. At this point, I don't want to start a new book because I want to start reading A Curse for True Love the second it arrives at my door. I do have the book pre-ordered, so I'm just waiting at this point. So what I'm going to do today and tomorrow and until I get A Curse for True Love is I am going to reread The Ballad of Never After. This is the second book, as I mentioned, in the series, just to fully refresh my mind and get me back into this beautiful world that Stephanie Garber has created. Not right now though, because I do have to start my work day. I do sneak in reading between 9 to 5, but it is 9 now, so I have to start the work day. I'll see you guys later.
Slowly we take on phosphorescence, vivid in the bond.
Okay, so I'm doing this reread, right? And I'm getting really stressed about something because, okay, and what I'm about to say will spoil Once Upon a Broken Heart and will spoil the first chapter of Ballad of Never After. So if you still have not read those books, I will give you a couple seconds to skip to here. Okay? Are you gone? This is your last warning. Obviously, I'm not gonna spoil A Curse for True Love because I still don't have it yet. Okay, so I was rereading and I forgot about this letter that Evangeline writes to herself on the very first page of the Ballad of Never After. She writes this whole like warning letter to herself saying that if she ever feels like she's being lured in by Jax again, she has to remember that he is bad, big bad, and he's an evil fate, and to not fall for whatever he is tricking her with. And then she seals this letter and puts it away. And I remember when I was reading this book for the first time, I was waiting for the moment that she would take out the letter and open it and reread it for herself. And if I remember correctly, I'm still going through the reread, but I don't think she actually ever looked at that letter again. And okay, if you're still with me in this video, we all know by now that at the end of this book, Apollo erases all her memories, including all of her memories with Jax. So if Jax appears again, I'm wondering if Apollo found that letter that she wrote to herself, or she'll find it somewhere like in her room, and that's the only like memory or like proof of whatever her relationship with Jax was. So even if Jax tries to like win her over again, the only thing from the past for her to remember him by is like something that goes against him. So that's stressing me out. I wonder if that letter will actually make an appearance again in A Curse for True Love, because yeah, I don't think it ever came back. So yeah, I'm really stressed. Good morning. So I seriously don't know how I managed to do this, but I finished my reread of this yesterday. This book is exactly 400 pages long, and I read all 400 of them in one day, which I think is probably the most pages I have ever read. Seriously, don't even know how I did it. And I swear I was not skimming. Like, I was full reading every single page. But I feel like rereads in general are always just quicker because you don't need as much time to like process what you're reading. But yeah, anyways, I finished this yesterday. And more exciting news, I did get an email notification yesterday saying that my Curse for True Love has shipped. I did a little happy dance when I got that email, and I'm so excited. But before that arrives, I just decided to reread Once Upon a Broken Heart as well. I didn't expect to have time to reread both of these, but I don't know, I just whizzed through Ballad of Never After, so I feel like I'm doing this in kind of the wrong order, but yeah, that's what I'm currently reading. Oh my gosh, good morning! It is 8:41 a.m. on Wednesday, and I got a package. I am so excited, you guys. Let's open this together, okay? Oh my goodness, it's here! It's so pretty! So I did get the I did get the Indigo exclusive version. So this one, I think it's the same as the Barnes & Noble one, but it's like Canadian, but it has like some sort of a bonus chapter at the end, apparently. I don't know, but it's so pretty. Hold on, what's that? I didn't know about this! What does Huffy think?
Do they all have that?
No, this is just the exclusive version. It says the Ballad of the Archer and the Fox.
But that's not the book name.
No, but it's significant. Does this mean we find out what happens at the end of the Ballad of the Archer and the Fox? Is this... How am I gonna work today?
Are you gonna read it like that or with the cover on?
Yeah, it's cool to read it without it, but I also like don't want to like ruin this. It's so pretty. I did not know that this was a thing. Guys, today is just a really bookish day apparently because I got a book of the month package. I don't think I talked about this, but I did decide to sign up for book of the month. This is not sponsored, I wish, but I have been seeing a lot of like book YouTubers talk about book of the month, usually because they're sponsored, but it sounded like a really interesting premise to me, so I decided to try it. If you haven't heard of what book of the month is, it's basically a book subscription service where you pay like 15 bucks a month to get one hardcover a month, which is a really good deal, especially if you live in Canada and books are so expensive. Basically how it works is every month there's like a group of curators, I guess, who choose 5 or 6 different books, I think, from different genres, and then you pick one book out of that selection of the month, or you can skip a month if you don't like any of the selection for that month, and then you just get a book every month, or you can get multiple if you want. You just have to pay a bit more. Yeah, I decided to join just to see what it was all about because like I spend so much money on books. If there's a way to save at all but still buy books, I will gladly take the opportunity. So yeah, I'm gonna try it. The packaging is very cute. There's like lots of little quotes everywhere. Like over here it says, "Warning, this box may elicit excitement." And then on the inside it says like, "You've got great taste" and stuff. So that's cute. So the book I decided to get for my first book of the month is The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. I've just seen a lot of people talk about this book and it sounds like something that I would enjoy reading. This is about a girl named June Farrow, something about a plague, something about people disappearing, something a little mystical, mysterious, and magical. It sounds right up my alley. And also, you guys, look, don't know if you can see that, but it says literally the Canadian price of this book is $37.99. That's insane, but I got this book for much cheaper because of book of the month. I'm gonna add this to my TBR, probably quite up high on my TBR because it sounds very intriguing. That's that. I will definitely read A Curse for True Love first, obviously, because like I'm literally hyperventilating thinking about it, but another one to add to my TBR. Yay! Okay, I'm just finishing up my lunch break, but I have decided I am going to read this dust jacket cover. What am I trying to say? I am going to read this dust cover free just because I want to experience reading like that, you know? But before I do, I want to read the little synopsis. So if you don't want to hear this, skip to this time code. 2 villains, 1 girl, and a deadly battle for happily ever after. Evangeline Fox ventured to the magnificent north in search of her happy ending, and it seems as if she finally has it. She's married to a handsome prince and lives in a legendary castle, but Evangeline has no idea of the devastating price she's paid for this fairy tale. She doesn't know what she has lost, and her husband is determined to make sure she never finds out. But first, he must kill Jax, the Prince of Hearts. Blood will be shed, hearts will be stolen, and true love will be put to the test in A Curse for True Love, the breathtaking conclusion to the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. Sounds intense, sounds intense. Okay, so going into this conclusion, there are a few things that I want to find out. I wrote all of these while I was doing my rereads of the first 2 books. Number 1, what is the significance of the apples and the colors of the apples? If we don't learn what the apples do, I'm gonna revolt, okay? Number 2, who is the mysterious librarian in Wolf Hall? That one's a smaller one. I feel like if we don't learn that in this book, I'm not gonna be too mad, but it's just something on my mind. Like, who was that? Was it a ghost? Number 3, what is the secret 3rd shop that Evangeline's father owned? This was mentioned so quickly in the first book and never mentioned again. But I'm just like curious and I want to learn more about Evangeline's mother and father in general. Number 4, who was the original fox? Number 5, how did Jax become a Fate? And also just like more of his backstory, obviously. Number 6, what happens at the end of the Ballad of the Archer and the Fox? Number 7, who will receive the third kiss? Those are the things I want to know, okay? So we're gonna read this book and we're gonna see if we find out and answer all those questions. I've been reading for a little bit. I'm on page 98. I'm really liking it so far. I feel like this is the first book in the series where we as the reader know more than what the characters know, just because of certain events that happen in the second book. We have multiple POVs in this one, which is the first book in the series to do that. We have 3 different POVs in this one, so that's really exciting. I'm having a lot of fun reading this so far. It's going by so fast. I'm just gonna be finished reading this book before I even know it, so that'll be sad when this adventure is over. But I have just, and I will try my best not to show you any words, I have just gotten to the first Jax chapter and I'm so excited because we all need more Jax POV in our lives. But yeah, that's how reading is going. I am having so much fun. Something just happened. Something that I knew was going to happen. No. This is where I'm at. Okay, you know how yesterday I was like, I'm gonna take my time to read this book because I want it to last. Well, I finished it yesterday, so I read the whole book in a day. And my journey is over, unfortunately. But I want to give you a review of this book and what I think about it. So I'm going to first start off with my spoiler-free version of the review, and then I will tell you guys to leave if you don't want to hear spoilers. Overall, enjoyed the book. I have been seeing that this book has been getting some like negative reviews on TikTok. It's still quite highly rated on Goodreads. I think it's still over like a 4, it's like 4.3 or something. But I'm seeing a lot of hate, honestly, on TikTok. I think a lot of people were expecting like this book to be perfect and amazing just because The Ballad of Never After was so good. But I'm going to give you my honest review, and I overall did enjoy this book. I still gave it a 5-star. People are saying Stephanie Garber like changed her writing style in this book or something. I don't know. I don't feel like it was that different, and I did do a reread of her first 2 books literally like the days before I started A Curse for True Love, so I didn't feel like her writing style was different. I was generally happy with the book, but I will say I honestly feel like this book needed to be like 200 pages longer. That is what I will say. I think a lot of questions didn't get answered, which is why I think a lot of people are kind of upset with this book, especially it being the conclusion of the series. And I agree, I think I definitely do have a lot of questions that, yeah, didn't get answered. Maybe that was the point. Like, this whole series has that fantastical fairy tale vibe where things are mysteries and they're supposed to be kind of unknown, so maybe Stephanie did that on purpose. But yeah, I do understand the feeling of finishing this book and feeling like unsatisfied in terms of like things didn't completely conclude for me. I feel like most of my big questions were at least half answered. I would have liked to have some more elaboration. Like, I get why people are torn about this book, but people are literally saying like this is the biggest disappointment, this is actually a 2-star book, and I don't think we have to be that dramatic. Or, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but for me, I still overall really enjoyed this book. Obviously, I read it in a day. I loved the story, I loved all the POVs, which seems to be an unpopular opinion. And yeah, a lot of people are saying there wasn't enough yearning or pining, or like you didn't get that huge dramatic build-up. I don't know, I felt it. I felt the build-up, I felt the conclusion. Was I underwhelmed at some points? Yes, but overall, still a 5-star book for me, still a 5-star series for me, and I'm not like upset about it. Okay, so that is my quick spoiler-free review, and I'm going to talk about some more details now. So if you don't want to hear details, if you haven't read the book yet, please, please, please skip. I will give you the time code. I will give you a couple seconds to leave. Are you gone? Okay, so I'm just gonna go through my list of questions I wanted answered. I wanted to know what the significance of the apples were and what the colors of the apples meant. We kind of got that answered. So from my understanding, it was still kind of open-ended, but from what I'm understanding is that he was using the apples as like some sort of a distraction, so he wouldn't feel the urge to like kiss people and kill them. Like he just needed to keep busy, like keep his mouth busy, so that was why he was eating the apples. But yeah, I would have loved some more info on the significance of the colors of the apples, if any. So that question was kind of half answered. I wanted to know who the mysterious librarian was. Didn't get that answered, but I did say that I understand. That was a very small minor plot point. What is the secret third shop that Evangeline's father owned? We did not get that answered. But I am now seeing people mentioning that every store that her father owned was a store that had to be visited in Finale in the Caraval series. So maybe I have to reread that. Who was the original fox? We didn't get this answer. People online are speculating that it was Evangeline the whole time and they had gotten their memories wiped multiple times and just kept finding their way towards each other, but maybe. I don't know, I feel like that is a bit of a stretch. Like, isn't Jax really old? Aren't the Valors like really old? And Evangeline's human, so how old was she? Like a toddler when it happened? I don't know. How did Jax become a Fate? That's another question that we kind of got half answered. We learned why he became a Fate, but didn't really get the backstory and all the details around it and how it happened. We just learned why and kind of when. What happened at the end of the Ballad of the Archer and the Fox? I guess we kind of know that vaguely. And who will the last kiss go to? It didn't go to anyone. Maybe the reason it didn't go to anyone was because they wanted to keep that connection between the two of them, because it kind of like tethered them together. I would have preferred if there was like some big dramatic ending and Jax was like, kiss me, I'm your third and final kiss or something, but yeah, who knows. So yeah, I do think the book was good. I did enjoy all the POVs. Yes, even Apollo's POVs. I know he's not everyone's favorite character. He's definitely not my favorite character either, but I did think it was interesting to see his side of the story as well. I think what a lot of people are mad at is that they didn't get enough like Jax time. I think we had enough. Like, also in the first and second book we had so much of his time. I felt like I didn't need more than what we got in A Curse for True Love. I thought we got a good amount. I don't know, that's just how I feel. But I also am sad that we didn't get like more about the side characters in the previous books. Like Marisol wasn't in this book at all. Luke was like briefly, very quickly mentioned. We didn't learn anything more about Evangeline's mom and dad. I needed more, which is why I mentioned that I feel like this book should have been 200 pages long. That is something very rare, I think. Most books are too long and should be edited down more, but this one needed more pages. Like, we needed more info. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. Overall enjoyed it, but I needed 200 more pages. I'm gonna get back to work. I think the next book I'm going to read is The Unmaking of June Farrow. That's the book that I unboxed in my book of the month. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna read next. Okay, it's the next day and I'm still thinking about this book. You know when you get so into a series that when you finish reading it, it's just all you can think of for like weeks. The more I think about A Curse for True Love, the more I love it. And it's funny because like the more time passes, the more like criticism I'm seeing all over social media. I just think that people forgot that Stephanie Garber is like a vibes writer. She writes for the vibes. Like, all of her books have had plot holes. Like, have you read Caraval? I feel like I loved this book because I knew what I was going into. And yes, as I have talked about, there were a lot of things that were left unanswered, but the vibes were still just so good. And I think the characters were all still true to themselves, which a lot of people are arguing that the characters like didn't feel like themselves anymore, but I think they felt like more themselves than ever. Also, I know that Stephanie has not confirmed that she'll be writing more in this universe. She kind of, at this point, says she's done. She's gonna take a break from it and write something else. But I don't think our journey here is finished. I think Stephanie Garber is going to come back. I think there is going to be some more side stories that branch off from this point, and I feel like that's why it was left open-ended. There is still more to come. Yes, this is the end of this particular like unit of a story. I don't think this world is finished. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. I will say something spoilery right now, so please skip to this time code. Are you gone? Okay. A lot of people online are saying that they wanted like a big love speech or like revelation or like angry heated love speech from Jax to Evangeline at the end, and I disagree with that. I agree with Stephanie Garber on how she wrote it, in the fact that he just said like, I love you, and that's it, because that is his character. I don't know what you've been reading, but like Jax is not gonna go off on some big speech about how he loves Evangeline. That's just not him. So I think how all of that unfolded was accurate, and I loved it. I love the fact that Jax just like showed his love through all of the actions he did throughout the series, and not so much his words, which is really true to the character that he has always been, and I fully support that. Everyone has different opinions, preferences, and that's like absolutely okay, but I will just say that I loved this conclusion to this series. And yes, my only thing that I would have wished for is like 200 more pages. Anyways, I'm going to end this video here. I did start reading The Unmaking of June Farrow last night. Loving it so far. It seems very mysterious, mystical. Still don't really quite know what's going on, and the vibes in that book are really good too. Definitely very different from the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. It's a lot more dark, moody, mysterious. But yeah, gonna leave you guys here for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you did like this book type of content from me, please leave a comment. It really helps absolutely more than you can ever imagine. If you don't know what to comment down below, let me know what you are currently reading right now. If you like me, subscribe, do that bell thing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!